And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and today we are going to be going through in-depth Pillar 1. We're going to go over what you can acquire, why you're going to acquire those things, and kind of how to handle the evolving meta, ships, the stores, everything, so you can kind of see what's in the mind of me, so you know why and how I built this pillar system. Now, I'm going to pull up the pillar system really quick, and you can kind of see it over there on the far left. Your guys is right. And you'll see there's a couple of dark side chases. When I say a chase, I mean someone you got to gear or grind and get their stars up for. You've got a couple light side characters, and I tried to give you a little per pillar to make sure that you weren't too overwhelmed with what you were going after, but everything has a purpose. Everything in my pillar system unlocks at a differing rate. For example, if you're going for Shore Trooper, well, you can't get to him when you first start the game. So why would I put him in Pillar 1? It wouldn't make any sense. So that's why he's not in Pillar 1. The characters you're going to find, and you see over here to your right, these characters in Pillar 1 are all very easily accessible within the first 30 days of gameplay. They're all characters you're going to be able to grind out, and they all have significant purpose in the game for you. You might think this is a lot and it's overwhelming. There's a lot of characters to go for, but I gave you a couple per section to make sure that you can divide and conquer. What I mean is you can go into light side every day, dark side every day, guild store, cantina store, so on and so forth. That way you can do lots at the exact same time. Now, the biggest question for a lot of people is, do I focus on stars or gear? Well, it's kind of a combination of both. You'll know as you start to go up, gearing starts to get harder, but the stars continue to just maintain their leveling. You want to make sure that there's certain characters that you level up to 5 stars first and then eventually 7 stars. And the gear will come with time as you get into a guild and start to do raids and, territory battles, wars, things like that. You're going to start to get loot that's going to help make this a little bit easier to get over that hump of gear 8, 9, and 10. But it is painful early on because you don't have really any gear to go with. So we're going to go into this pillar system. Behind me, I'm going to blank myself out real quick and the pillar system out really quick. So what you can see behind me is everybody that is either a farmable character in Pillar 1 or characters that you will just incidentally unlock in Pillar 1. So Pillar 1 consists of basically Phoenix, some Empire, and some Scoundrels. Now, the whole point of Phoenix is so you can unlock Emperor Palpatine, and so you can unlock Thrawn, and the Phoenix are going to be your first and earliest arena team that actually gives you some durability, viability, and helps you climb. Now, Empire are in there to start your team for R2-D2 because you can unlock R2-D2 in Pillar 2 at 5 stars. So you're going to need to get some of these Empire characters, and some of these Empire characters take a little while to gear up. They're also easily accessible, and you can use them for lots of events that pop up. In fact, the Imperial Troopers work really well even at low star in gear when you have Range Trooper who's easy to get and to level up. Now, the third is Scoundrels, and they're really in there for the credit heist, training bots, a few different events that are in there, and they're really, really important. Now, the Empire also make a great second team for Arena once you unlock Emperor Palpatine, or you could actually, crazy enough, run Emperor Palpatine in place of Zeb in your Phoenix team when you're going against mirror matches, which make things a little easier. Now, I've only been playing for a couple of months, and you can see that I already have quite a few 7-star characters. I've got 4 of the 5 Phoenix maxed, and I could have had Hera maxed already if I wanted to, but I got them to 5 stars first for Emperor Palpatine because that was the next event that was coming. As soon as Emperor Palpatine came, I got him to 5 stars, and then he went. The events come back over and over every 2 to 3 months, so I will get him 6 or 7 stars next time. I should be able to get him easily 7 stars next time. Now, Darth Vader's in here because he just naturally unlocks through achievements, and then you can see Kylo Ren is in there. Now, I haven't gone for Kira yet. Now, I'm going to pull up really quick the pillar system so you can kind of see my progress and what I've gone for. So in the pillar system, you'll notice on the far top you'll see Darkseid and you'll see Sabine. Now I've got Sabine 3 stars, and right below her you see Range Trooper at 4 stars. He's gear 6, she's gear 7. I put a little bit more gear into her because she has a ship, she's a crew member, and you can see that while she was my first priority in the dark side, I still have farmed Range Trooper a little bit more. Now this is something that you guys have freedom to do. When you're using this pillar system, it is a guide. It is not the end all be all. It is what is most hyper efficient for you. But if you decide you want to move around, change, farm different things, jump into pillar 2 for a little bit to get some of your Jedi, things like that, that's fine. What I'm going to say is if you're going to jump from pillar 1 to pillar 2 prematurely, for let's say Yoda event like I did, and you want to move over into the Yoda event, what happens is you've got to make sure that you have the guys in pillar 1 for events at least 5 stars, which means Phoenix in pillar 1 needs to be 5-star minimum before you move on. And what I do is I run as hard as I can at the star count before an event, and then once the event is over, then I focus on the next event upcoming, such as Yoda. When Yoda came around, I then moved over to the Jedi and focused on getting Jedi to 5 stars. And then once Yoda's event ended, I came back to Phoenix, and now I'm finishing them off. So you may wonder, how do I go from pillar 1 to pillar 2, so on and so forth? And that's exactly it. Now with pillar 1, you get a lot of freedom. Like I said, you can choose to, star up Sabine or not, but I highly recommend finishing her off for her ship. A Range Trooper, of course, he's a long grind. He's easy to get to, but he does take a while, so I would definitely recommend putting some energy into him. The good news is your energy is going to either one of these 4 characters in that dark side and light side, or to gear. So you're not spending a bunch of energy. Even with just the basic 350 refreshes, you can farm all 4 of the characters out of dark and light side and still have enough to go for gear throughout the day. Now, Cantina is where it gets complicated because there's a ton of Cantina targets. And in pillar 1, you're going to reach ships. And in ships, you're going to have to start doing some stuff with characters that are crew members that might come out of Cantina. And that's where you have to kind of bounce around. And so what I did was I went Hera and Ezra 5-star. Then I moved over to Kylo Ren Unmasked, who's in pillar 1. But I skipped over Kira, so that way I could get my crew member Kylo Ren Unmasked for his ship, so when his ships launched, I'd have a good beginner ship. And then, of course, I've moved back now to Ezra, finished him off, went back to Hera, and I'm almost done with Hera. I have about 80 you can see left for Hera. Now, with the guild store, it's pretty easy because I'm just focused on Stark. Now, one thing about the guild store is there is a couple of Ewoks in there, Poplu and Logray, and they drop rarely. Same with Jyn Erso, and she drops rarely. And I have them in this system. If you notice, Jyn is in pillar 3, and then you've got Poplu in pillar 4 and Logray in pillar 5 for the guild store. The guild store is one of those things where it is its own entity. There's a 5-pillar system within the guild store. So Stark is your number 1 priority, but you're going to get a lot of guild currency. You might even spend a little on gear, which is important for your characters. But when these characters drop rare, such as Jyn Erso, Poplu, or Logray, and you want to pick them up, because it takes 4 to 6 months to pick them up, make sure that you always have enough currency to purchase Stark the next time he pops up. But make sure that if you have extra guild store currency, that you're able to go over and still have a little bit left over to purchase Jyn when she shows up, or Poplu or Logray. Now, they're not your primary target. They're not your primary focus, but if you can pick up a little here, a little there, once you get to that pillar, you'll already have a bit of a jump start. But for now, the number 1 priority is Stark. And so you can see with my Stark, I have gotten him to 6-star, 30 of 100 in less than 2 months. And so if you do focus on him, you can get him leveled up pretty fast. Now, I haven't done a ton of gearing. He's at gear level 5, almost gear level 6, and level 50, just enough to put some mods on, because I haven't quite shifted into Empire mode yet. In fact, I switched a little more into Jedi mode. But if you look, Stark is your primary target, and I've got him up here and looking well. As far as when you move into the Cantina store, of course, you want to get Chopper to 7 stars, which I did, and then you move over to Boba Fett, which for me, my Boba Fett, so you can see that I have my Boba Fett at 6 stars now because he's my second target. So Chopper was first, Boba Fett second, and he's almost done as well. I've only got about 74 shards left of Boba Fett, and then he's completed. And for the record, once I'm done with my Pillar 1 Cantina store, such as Chopper and then Boba Fett, I'm going to move to Pillar 2, strictly in Cantina store, and start picking up First Order Officer. Now, the same is true with the Squad Arena store. I picked up Kanan. You can see Kanan right there at 7 stars. So I picked him up, and then after I picked Kanan up, I went to Greedo. And as you can see, I've got Greedo 5 stars, almost 6 stars, gear 6, going on gear 7. And so you can kind of see how I'm doing it. I'm getting the characters to 7 stars, kind of passively gearing them up. And then when I get them to 7 stars, I can really aggressively finish off, trying to get these guys to gear level 7 at a minimum before I move on to Pillar 2 characters. If possible, but sometimes you just want to jump into Pillar 2 to grab a character or two, and that's okay. Again, you have the freedom to do what you want. This is your game. I'm just trying to give you guidance on what you should be going for. So after you've gone for those 2 dark side, those 2 light side, your cantinas, your guild store, cantina store, your Squad Arena store, you have your Galactic War store, and this is the one that's going to fly really pretty fast, but there is a lot in Galactic War store for ships that you're going to start to see near the end of Pillar 1 that's going to slow your progress up on Cad Bane a little bit. So you go for Zeb first. So let me pull up Zeb. You can see my Zeb got to 7 stars. And then after Zeb, I went ahead and went to Cad Bane. Now my Cad Bane is 4 stars, working on my 5th star. And the reason why he's not complete yet, and he probably should be, was because I focused on crew members that would be used for ships. So if you start to look, you can see I've got Sunfac, Geospy, Geosoldier, other characters, specifically crew members for ships. And I had to start putting some Galactic War currency into ships. Now, ships are the one thing that are not on my pillar system, and I explained to you guys that this is up to you on ships on how you want to go about it. You get a lot of fleet currency and Galactic War currency, and those are the 2 primary currencies I recommend to get your characters and their ships up, so that way you can be competitive in ships. Now, for me, it was the Geos, because their ships drop all the time in Galactic War store, and then in the fleet currency, the characters drop quite a bit, as do their ships, and so it makes for a very fast and quick grind when you're looking for particular characters. The other thing about Geos, which is cool, which you can totally go through in Pillar 1, even though they're not on the Pillar 1 system, they just are hidden in the sense that I didn't put fleet currency in this pillar system, and the fleet currency and some of your Galactic War store currency can go towards them. But these guys are only 1 character to gear. It's not like if you're running Cassian ship, his U-Wing, and you need 3 people to gear up. It makes a bit of a difference. So once you go and you do Galactic War store and all of that, you do unlock a couple of characters. Now, I have Darth Vader in my favorites, and the reason is you'll get him through achievements. I have him 5 stars, and he's an actual relative easy grind as far as gear goes. I've got him gear 7, almost gear 8, and I haven't really been trying to put a whole lot into him. So that is something that you will naturally kind of get for your Empire team. Now, please note, the reason why he's not a part of the R2-D2 team in Pillar 2 is because you might not have him 7 stars by the time R2-D2 comes around. Now, if you're just unlocking a 5-star R2-D2, then he would work just fine. But keep in mind, you got to keep in mind that he may not be 7 stars if that's what you're trying to go for. The other 2 characters in Pillar 1 you'll unlock is Emperor Palpatine, and I got him to 5 stars, but Obviously, you can get them to 7 stars with your characters if you get them high enough. I know some people that chose to do Phoenix exclusively, and they got their 7-star Emperor Palpatine, and now they're running Empire in Arena very successfully. And there's a lot of easy to get Empire characters that they can farm quick. It's just not the character that I'm running because I've got him 5 stars. The other character that you do unlock in Pillar 1 will be Thrawn. Now, you have to wait for the event, obviously, but each pillar should take, 3 to 4 months to work on those characters to get them to their star level that you're looking for, as well as getting their gear up to around, 7 or 8. And Thrawn's event is coming back in like 10 days, 12 days, something like that. And so I will get my shot at him. And the only character I need to get to 7 stars is my Hera. So that'll work out pretty perfectly for me. But if you haven't got your Grand Admiral Thrawn yet and the event's coming, you got to make sure your Phoenix are as high as possible. Do not jump to Pillar 2 if your Phoenix aren't at least 5 stars, because you want to at least unlock Grand Admiral Thrawn so that way you can use him and gear him at the lower levels. But if you can get to 7 stars, that would be optimal, so that way you can feel good about moving into Pillar 2. So I hope this has helped you guys understand Pillar 1 a little bit more. I'm giving you a little bit in each node or store to kind of chew on. Cantina is very difficult because it's going to divide your attention a ton, and that is understandable, but just note that if you choose to jump into Pillar 2 for a particular character such as Bastila Shan, that's fine, just as long as you don't leave Pillar 1 characters forever at 5 stars. You've got to go back and finish them off. These are all critically important characters. If you're unsure as to why a particular character is in the Pillar 1 system or what's the purpose of it, please let me know in the comments down below. I hope this has really clarified Pillar 1, how you jump around, how you pick up your ships and your crew members, and how you would go about jumping from back and forth from Pillar 1 to Pillar 2. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and keep your gaming on. Warrior, out.